So what is it that we want to restore or rebuild our own BARNFIND from old rotten to new reliable? There's a long way in between finding a BARNFIND and having a beautiful car to drive. And I'm going to explain to you here what it takes. What are the bottlenecks, what the timescales, and what are the difficult parts. You need a few things. To start a project like that is it's always a dream or wish we all have. But to actually get it done, the enthusiasm at the beginning is always huge. But when you have your first cuts in your fingers and you hurt yourself, or you get dirty, or you break some parts of the car, then you start doubting, you're getting frustrated. And don't worry, we have all been there. Trust me, there's no mechanic who has not had these experiences. We've all been there. I have been there. I scratched the completely new paintwork. I had to get redone. I broke some windows. Almost in. On just the last snap and cracked the windscreen was gone. We were with 3 people getting it in, and I will tell you about things you need to look out for. I will tell you what to avoid because it costs lots of money. I will show you in which sequence you need to plan. Actually, I recommend a strategy. I will tell you how I work. Of course, everybody has his own environment he is living in, and I'm living here. And this is actually a car industry, but I get a few things done locally, but some other bits I need to go actually abroad to get things done properly, because the craftsmanship isn't there anymore, or maybe it's just too expensive. And these are things I will discuss and show you. With this series I will start a proper restoration, an actual one, with the car we found in a garage underneath a house. It was stored there for about 30 years. It was imported by a gentleman in the age of 60, and he planned that as a pensioner project. So he got the car into Europe and into Germany, and then he started disassembling, discovered a few things which didn't like. And then he disassembled the car, got some weldings done, and he never got the car to be finished. So that is when we came into the game. It is a Series 1, 2+2. Now you ask yourself, why is it 2+2? It is a 2+2 because it is a 2+2. It is a nice car. I have one myself. I do have 3.8s, I do have 4.2, and I have restored all of them. But now this is the one, and I actually think, as we have one, is an excellent touring car for taller people, for older people maybe. And no one will blame me, but it's also an automatic. Okay, okay, but be honest. I'm honest to myself. When I'm renting a car somewhere, I'm always asking for an automatic because it's so smooth to drive. And the next reason for an automatic is my lady next to me, she enjoys the automatic as a passenger. There's no forward back when shifting gear, and when we go on tours, she always wants the automatic. She arrives in fine style and is always asking, when do we go again with the E Type? It is not with the 3.8, maybe when we go somewhere, but not on the tours. The flat floor, as you probably know, is very narrow. You have less space, it's a bit noisy, it's a bit awkward really. It is still fascinating, the 3.8, and that is why we have it. But the Series 1, 2+2 is probably the most neglected, or is not the, it doesn't have the status what it should have. It is probably one of the best E-types you can have. It looks good, it looks brilliant. It has the covered eyes, it has the covered headlamps, it has the interior, it has a look of an early E-type, but it just has larger doors. It makes entrance and exit so much easier. You have a lot more space and a lot of other comfort features, like you have the armrest on the center console, you have the armrest on the doors, you have parcel trays in the back, you have more space, you have all the rear seat, and you still have 265 brake horsepower. Okay, you only have 3 gears, but it is shifting by itself. You don't need the clutch, and the tailgate is the same. It looks, interior is the same, the dashboard is the same. So why to blame the 2+2? And even if it's an automatic, I'm enjoying it. We bought the car, it was all disassembled. I understood what is there and what isn't. The good thing was it was an all matching numbers car. It was an already done bodywork. It had some surface rust, but it was the original engine, it was the original gearbox, and it was the original body. So I thought having a go for it, and that is what you can follow me now. Before I come to the next video, I want to leave you with some crucial consideration which you need to know and to decide for your own project. You need to check 4 main things. The space, why is it important? It is not just a 1-slot car parking space. To consider restoring a car, you need to disassemble and you need to store the bits when they come from elsewhere. So at minimum you need the space of 4 cars to move around, to store bits and to work around the car you have. You need to have the bond removed, you need to have it stored, you need to get the engine out, you have to get it restored, you have to need some space for the IRS. So space is an utmost important thing you need to consider. And don't think you can start that as in a normal 1-slot garage. That is impossible. Second, the time. Don't think you get it done with 2 hours every evening. There's no way this is going to work. When I stop working for 3-4 days, I need half a day to get back in. I need to sort out things, and it is not only that my time is lacking, it is also that I start a project. Let's say I start with the carbs, then I identify what parts I need to overhaul the whole thing, and then I need to wait for the parts to come in. So what shall I do? I cannot order the parts before I have disassembled the carb set. So I need to disassemble the carb set, evaluate the parts I need, get them ordered, get them back in, and then I can continue the job. So you need to consider this time jumps between starting and ending. I know people which have bought a car and they didn't finish after 10+ years. And still after 30 years, like this project I'm talking about, has never been finished. And why is that? Because people think things go smooth. They work hand in hand with someone else and they come back. That's not the way it's going to happen. Restoring an E-Type means you need to chase people, you need to know the network before you start. Who is going to rebuild the gearbox? It's already difficult with the mechanics, with the workshops. You don't find the parts. Who is going to do it? How do I shipping it? How do I avoid extra costs for posting, shipping, VAT, custom, import, export? Who is doing the engine? to rebuild an engine. Takes months. You need to disassemble. It doesn't work always that smooth. If the car is 60 years old. So there's nothing going easy really. It is, you always have to face some extra challenges. But that is what you will see in my videos. Another important thing is, what about the bodywork? Who is good in welding? Who is good in leading? Who is good in painting? Do they have the time to take my project on? How long do I have to wait? What can I do in between? Do we get the panels we need? All these are things you need to check before you buy a project car. I have done about 5 or 6 total restoration nut and bolts. So I know my network, I know who I can trust, I know who is good workman, I know who doesn't. The worst thing, and we all know this, we get someone else getting some work done. He never starts it, he never gets it done properly, always excuses, you have to chase them, and when you get it back, it might not be correct. So that is all something you need to learn and understand where to get these things done. There's the forum E Type UK, which is a very good one. And then you have the forum from the States, Jag Lovers. Those are big sources, and you write something and you usually always get an answer. So there are always people willing to help you. But in the end, it is you have to get it done. You need to get things posted and shipped and prepared. So my recommendation about time scheduling is, the best thing is you start working and never stop. That's the best thing. And that also goes for the other suppliers. When you drop your body shell at a coach builder or at a paint job, as longer it takes, as worse it gets. That you always have to remember. And that is not only with the others, that also goes for yourself. So keep your hands on, finish a job, and otherwise you always have to restart and you always waste more and more time, and eventually you might get fed up with it. And you might even think in between of selling it. But I can tell you another thing. We all have been there. We all have been there. Working all day long and not getting anywhere. Coming home frustrated. That's normal. That's not just you or me. That's for everyone. The next day we go back and things go smooth. And that day we go back home, very happy, very satisfied. A lot of work done, and we wonder, why didn't it work the day before? Well, that's how it is. And that goes for all of us, not just for me and you. So be patient, don't push yourself too much, stay committed, and then you will have success. Third thing is the money. Restoring original parts, finding original parts always costs more than having a replacement part or having some aftermarket parts. So that is, aftermarket parts are made in thousands. So that is always available, but maybe it doesn't fit properly or doesn't look right. So original parts are rare and therefore more expensive, but they are original, they are quality, and they match the car. Make sure you have matching items on your car. Period, correct. That's my recommendation. That's what I'm doing. Last thing of the 4 is passion and commitment. Never give up. You will be rewarded by the end. Not only by the end, also in between. Every single step you get done perfectly. And I tell you, get it done perfectly right away. Otherwise you will turn back, undo it, and do it again. So Don't fool yourself and say, it's good enough. I will leave it as it is because I'm fed up. I don't have the time anymore. I want to get it done. When you continue on a high level restoration, you will always find the worst spot on the car, and that is the thing what always annoys you for the rest of the time you have the car. So make sure you always say, I could never get it any better than this. Everything else is a false compromise. Don't compromise on anything. That is a point you will always look at, and that will ruin the end result. Maybe not for someone else, but for you. At least that's how I am.